In the hushed halls of English academia, a mind unlike any other was blossoming. Alan Turing, a name that would become synonymous with genius and tragedy, was already challenging the very foundations of mathematics. His early life was marked by a precocious intellect that often baffled his teachers and set him apart from his peers. He dreamt in numbers and saw the world as a series of logical puzzles waiting to be solved. While studying at King's College, Cambridge, he published a paper that would lay the groundwork for all of modern computing. This concept, the universal Turing machine, was a theoretical device capable of simulating any computer algorithm. It was a breathtaking leap of imagination, a blueprint for a digital world that did not yet exist. But as Turing's theoretical work reached its zenith, the world outside the university walls was darkening. The drums of war were beating across Europe, and a shadow was falling over the continent. The German military machine, a force of terrifying efficiency, held a secret weapon not of steel, but of information. It was called the Enigma, a device that scrambled messages into a seemingly unbreakable code. The Enigma Machine, with its rotating wheels and complex wiring, generated a code so formidable it was considered invincible. Each day, the German High Command could communicate with its forces, from generals to U-boat captains, in absolute secrecy. For the Allies, it was like fighting an enemy who could see in the dark. Every intercepted message was a stream of gibberish, a taunting reminder of their own vulnerability. In this desperate hour, the British government assembled a clandestine group of its brightest minds. They were brought to a Victorian country estate known as Bletchley Park, a place whose name would become legendary. This secret nerve center, hidden away in the English countryside, was designated Station Expon. Among the mathematicians, linguists, and chess champions was Alan Turing. He arrived with his eccentricities and his unparalleled intellect, a man perfectly suited for an impossible task. The challenge was monumental: to break a code that changed its settings every 24 hours. The number of possible combinations for the Enigma's daily key was astronomical, running into the millions. Trying to break it by hand was futile. The sun would set each day on their failure, and a new, unknown code would emerge. Turing understood that a machine must be fought with a machine. He envisioned a device that could mechanize the process of deduction, to search for the key at superhuman speed. Building on earlier work by Polish cryptanalysts, who had made the first crucial cracks in Enigma, Turing designed his masterpiece. This machine was not elegant. It was a hulking, noisy, electromechanical beast. It was named the Bomb, a name that belied its purpose of diffusing threats, not creating them. Bomb was a symphony of clicking relays and spinning drums, each one simulating the rotors of an Enigma machine. It worked by testing potential Enigma settings against a known piece of plaintext, a crib. These cribs were often standard phrases, like Wettervorhersage, weather forecast, which the codebreakers gambled would be in the day's messages. The bomb would churn through thousands of possibilities, searching for a logical contradiction. When it found one, it would discard a setting. When it found a consistent one, it would stop. That stop provided the clue, the thread that the codebreakers could pull to unravel the entire day's code. The first operational bomb, named Victory, was installed at Bletchley Park in the spring. The tension in the machine huts was palpable as the teams waited for the machine to deliver its verdict. A successful stop on the bomb was a moment of pure elation, a breakthrough that could save countless lives. The information gleaned from these decryptions was codenamed Ultra. Ultra-intelligence gave the Allies an unprecedented window into the enemy's plans. They knew where U-boats were prowling in the Atlantic, waiting to strike convoys. They learned of troop movements, supply lines, and strategic intentions. The Battle of the Atlantic, once a losing struggle, began to turn in the Allies' favor. Convoys could be rerouted around wolf packs, and hunter-killer groups could be dispatched to intercept them. The secret of Ultra was so vital that it was guarded above almost all else. Sometimes, the Allies had to make the agonizing choice to not act on the intelligence to avoid revealing their source. It would allow a planned attack to proceed if preventing it would signal to the Germans that Enigma was broken. Turing's work was the engine driving this entire secret operation. He was a relentless problem solver, constantly refining the techniques and improving the machines. He and his team in Hut 8 focused specifically on the more complex naval Enigma. Breaking it was crucial to winning the war at sea. Turing's genius was not just in the grand design, but also in the small statistical tricks he developed. He created a method he called banbarismuses to identify the most likely Enigma rotor settings before even using the bomb. This saved precious machine time and dramatically increased the efficiency of the code-breaking effort. The pressure on the Bletchley Park staff was immense, a constant race against the clock. They worked in long, grueling shifts, fueled by coffee and the knowledge that their work was vital. The secrecy was absolute. They could not speak of their work to anyone, not even their families. They were ghosts in the machine of the war effort, their victories silent and uncelebrated. As the war progressed, the Germans added more layers of complexity to their codes. Turing and his team were in a constant intellectual arms race against their unseen adversaries. His contributions were pivotal in the planning for the D-Day landings in Normandy. Ultra-intelligence helped confirm that the German High Command had fallen for the Allied deception campaign. They believed the main invasion would come at Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. This crucial miscalculation, confirmed by Enigma decrypts, saved thousands of Allied lives on the beaches. By the end of the war, Bletchley Park was a massive industrial-scale code-breaking factory. Hundreds of bombs were in operation, and thousands of personnel worked around the clock. Historians estimate that the work done at Bletchley Park shortened the war by at least 2 years. Breaking of the Enigma code was arguably the single greatest intelligence achievement of the entire conflict. When the war ended, a veil of secrecy was dropped over Bletchley Park and all its achievements. All the bombs were ordered to be destroyed, and the staff were sworn to a lifetime of silence. The story of Alan Turing and his incredible machine vanished from history, locked away in classified files. Turing himself went on to work on early computer designs at the National Physical Laboratory. He designed the Automatic Computing Engine, ACE, one of the first designs for a stored program computer. His vision for computing was holistic. He was interested in not just calculation but artificial intelligence. He proposed the imitation game as a test for a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. This test, now known as the Turing test, remains a cornerstone of AI philosophy. But the society he had helped to save was not ready to accept him for who he was. In an era when homosexuality was a criminal offense in Britain, Turing's private life was exposed. He was arrested and charged with gross indecency after acknowledging a relationship with another man. Faced with the choice between prison and chemical castration, he chose the latter. He was subjected to hormonal treatments that had devastating physical and psychological effects. His security clearance was revoked, and he was barred from continuing his work in government cryptography. The man who had held one of the world's greatest secrets was now deemed a security risk. His final years were spent in professional isolation, a shadow of his former self. In June 1954, Alan Turing was found dead in his home, a victim of cyanide poisoning. The official verdict was suicide, though some have questioned this. suggesting it may have been an accident. He was only 41 years old, a brilliant light extinguished far too soon. For decades, his monumental contributions to the war effort remained a secret. The Official Secrets Act ensured that the heroes of Bletchley Park received no public recognition. It wasn't until the 1970s that the first details of the Ultra Project began to be declassified. Slowly, the world began to learn the story of the Codebreakers and the machine that had won the war. Turing's legacy as the father of modern computing and artificial intelligence grew. But his story was also a powerful and tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of prejudice. In 2009, a public campaign led to a formal apology from the British government for his treatment. Prime Minister Gordon Brown acknowledged that the country owed him an immense debt. In 2013, Alan Turing was granted a posthumous royal pardon, officially clearing his name. Today, his face adorns the United Kingdom's £50 sterling note, a symbol of his rightful place in history. The story of Alan Turing is one of a brilliant mind that saw the future. He conceived of a world run on logic and computation long before it was a reality. His work at Bletchley Park was a practical application of this vision under the most extreme pressure. The bomb was more than a machine. It was an idea made manifest, a logical process in physical form. It represented a new way of thinking, a new way of waging war. The quiet, intense work in the huts of Station X was as critical as any battle fought on land or sea. Every decoded message was a small victory in a long and brutal conflict. Turing's personal struggles highlight the stark contrast between his intellectual freedom and his personal confinement. He was a man who thought outside every conceivable box, yet was trapped by the rigid conventions of his time. Persecution stands as a stark lesson in the human cost of intolerance. The pardon and apologies, while welcome, came decades too late for the man himself. The legacy of the Enigma Codebreakers is a testament to the power of collective intellect. They were ordinary people, academics, puzzle lovers and civil servants who achieved something extraordinary. Their silent service underscores the hidden complexities of historical events. The war was won not only by soldiers on the front lines, but by mathematicians in quiet rooms. Alan Turing's story is a complex tapestry of genius, war, secrecy, and prejudice. He was a codebreaker who deciphered the enemy's most guarded secrets. Yet he remained an enigma himself, a man whose inner world was as complex as the codes he broke. The universal machine he theorized is the ancestor of every smartphone, laptop, and server in the world today. Wartime work saved millions of lives and shaped the course of the 20th century. The spinning drums of the bomb were the first beats of the digital age. In the quiet hum of a Bletchley Park hut, the future was being written in decoded German messages. Turing's focus was relentless, his mind a beacon in the fog of war. He would often be seen running for miles, his body processing thoughts as his legs processed the distance. The naval Enigma, with its extra rotors, presented a particularly devilish problem. Turing's statistical approach, Banburismus, was a stroke of pure, abstract genius. It allowed the team to peer into the machine's soul before the hardware even started turning. The women of Bletchley Park, who operated the bombs and managed the vast flow of data, were unsung heroes. Their meticulous work was essential to turning Turing's theories into practical intelligence. Each day began with a frantic search for a crib, a tiny foothold in the cryptographic mountain. The success of the D-Day deception was a crowning achievement for the Ultra operation. Knowing the enemy's disbelief was as important as knowing their beliefs. After the war, Turing's work shifted from breaking codes to creating intelligence. He explored the potential for machines to learn and to think. His 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, was profoundly prescient. It asked the question, can machines think? A question we are still grappling with today. The cruelty of his conviction was compounded by its absurdity. The nation's greatest secret keeper was cast out for a secret of his own. The hormonal treatment was a blunt instrument of a state enforcing conformity. It was a chemical silencing, a parallel to the official secrecy that shrouded his greatest work. His death represents a profound loss of potential, a mind that still had so much to give. The slow rehabilitation of his image began as the secrets of the war were finally told. Books and documentaries began to piece together the puzzle of Bletchley Park. The name Turing began to be associated not with scandal, but with salvation. The royal pardon was a symbolic act, an attempt to right a historical wrong. It was an admission that the laws of the past had failed a man who was ahead of his time. The £50 note is a final, public acknowledgement of his status as a national icon, celebrated now for both his scientific genius and as a figurehead for LGBTQ rights. The Enigma Machine now sits in museums, a relic of a bygone era of warfare. Its intricate mechanics seem almost quaint in our age of quantum computing. Yet the principles of cryptography it embodied are more relevant than ever in our digital world. Turing's bomb was the ancestor of the modern server farm, a purpose-built calculation engine. The whirring of its drums was the sound of a paradigm shift in human history. From the chaos of war, a new order of information was born. Alan Turing stood at the epicenter of this change, a quiet architect of a new age. His legacy is not just in the machines he inspired, but in the very idea that logic can shape reality, and that with enough ingenuity, that order can be found. The Codebreaker who won the war was ultimately broken by the society he saved. But his story, once a closely guarded secret, is now a source of inspiration for millions. It is a reminder that true genius often resides on the fringes, challenging the world to catch up. The work at Bletchley Park was a symphony of minds against a machine of immense complexity. Each decrypted message felt like a stolen glimpse into the enemy's very thoughts. Turing's eccentricities, like chaining his tea mug to a radiator, were part of his unique genius. He approached every problem, from naval codes to his daily commute, with unconventional logic. The destruction of the bombs after the war was a tragic loss of historical artifacts. It was a physical manifestation of the secrecy that would bury the story for a generation. Turing's post-war work on morphogenesis explored how patterns form in nature, another kind of code. He saw the language of mathematics written in the spots of a leopard and the spirals of a shell. His conviction was a brutal collision between a forward-thinking mind and a backward-looking law. The state that had relied on his mind to survive then condemned him for his heart. The silence surrounding his death was as profound as the silence that had surrounded his work. A hero's story was erased, deemed less important than the shame imposed upon him. The eventual declassification of ultrafiles was like finding a hidden chapter of world history. It recast the narrative of the war, revealing the invisible weapon the Allies had wielded. Alan Turing's name, once known only to a few, finally entered the public consciousness. His is a story of triumph and tragedy, of a mind that soared while a life was crushed. The code was broken, the war was won, but the man was lost. Yet, in the digital world he helped create, his spirit of inquiry and innovation lives on.